Live. Hope you're having a great day. This is such an important part of the year. Time to get ready for next year. 2023 is only a few days away. And that's why I'm focusing this week on 2023 strategies, game planning. And today, this topic is LinkedIn 2023 strategies, reflect, review, and most importantly, reinvent. Chat is on, so feel free to participate. It's always better together. So let me just launch into this. This is, this could be fundamental to your game planning for next year, and in turn could be instrumental in getting you where you want to go on LinkedIn, and really leveraging LinkedIn for what it can be, a really powerful platform if you work it right. Okay, let's move right into, reflection. This is a time of thinking back. This is a time of closing your eyes and experiencing, your best moments of 2022, some of your most challenging, kind of looking at where you are and where you've been. Taking inventory is so essential. And, more importantly, getting off to the right mindset. Create an attitude of success and of gratitude. And you'll achieve both by doing either if you do it right. So, the key to it is understanding where you are, where you've been, where you want to go. By looking back, taking inventory, and really, taking a hard look at yourself. Okay, we've got Cynthia here. Hi, Don. I hope you had a wonderful Christmas with the family. I sure did. Thank you so much for asking. Actually, it was one of the best Christmases ever. Hope you did too. And thank you for supporting this LinkedIn Live. You're a very valuable asset to everybody who gets to know you. So thank you, Cynthia. After taking a hard look and an honest look, determine where you really are and be realistic on what were your thoughts a year ago? What was your plan a year ago? Did you even put a lot of time into planning? Whatever. And what did you achieve last year? And does it match your intentions when you started? More importantly, does it match your intentions now going forward? The key is working it in a way that's time efficient and also thought efficient. It shouldn't be challenging. It should actually be fun, because I'm experiencing more fun. But, with popularity and success, and it took, 7 months of doing this every day, and now it's catching on and the audience is growing. So I want to thank everybody out there. So, that's really an area of reflection. Then the key is review what you've reflected. Put it on paper. Start, making it real. There's a study that says a written plan has 5 times the success of an unwritten plan. And once you see it, it becomes real. More importantly, once you see it, you become responsible and accountable to what you just put down, which was just based on your thoughts. And, if you want to change your actions, change your attitude, which will change your thoughts. And, are you thinking big enough, or are you thinking way too big and not being realistic about it? It's only between you and you right now. So the idea is to be as honest with yourself as to what you've accomplished, what you intend to do, and what is your commitment to getting it done. And, once you have that, you've got a roadmap, you've got a result, you've got your intent going forward, and you have something to measure against. There's a saying, you can't manage what you don't measure. So, take this seriously, because, for the little bit of time, which may seem inconvenient at this point to put into planning, look at the time you're going to invest without a plan. Here's Dennis. Dennis is a great guy. Kind of got a little confused on communications on our Zoom call, but thanks for joining, Dennis. I hope you had a great Christmas. Plan to plan. Christmas is over, but 2023 is going to pop up. No kidding. And, I think that's so important, is take control, manage your future. take the advice of Dennis and myself and really put something together you can be proud of if you accomplish it. And they say if you have a big enough why, you'll figure out the how to. So by reviewing everything, and the most important thing is after reviewing yourself, is review who are you with? Who's your board of directors? Who's your 4, 5, 10 people who you spend the most time on LinkedIn? And how has that grown? How has their collaboration or your collaboration with them supported each other's success? And they say you're the factor of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Look around you. Who are your 5 people you spend the most time with on LinkedIn? What are they doing? Where are they going? Fast forward, and is that where you want to go? And is that as fast as you want to travel? And disassociation is as valuable in this process as association. You need to open up to let in. And the way to do it is to always never be the smartest person in the room. Look at who you can learn the most from. When I had my companies, I always told people when they started, it's not how much you make here, it's who you become. And that's what you're going to be taking inventory a year from now based on what you did or didn't do now. And, I'm with this whole LinkedIn Live broadcasting that I've been doing. It's really about sharing right now today's latest insights, latest lessons I'm learning, and duplicating it through so many others to make it sustainable and something that's scalable. There's so much opportunity people aren't taking advantage of. People are stepping over stepping over dollars to pick up pennies. And that's where reviewing people is so important. Who do you invest time? And that's your basic currency on LinkedIn on LinkedIn. Who have you supported? How many comments have you given? To who? What has come back to you? Now it's a matter of harvesting. You did your planting, you did your cultivating. What do you got to show for it? And is that something you can build on? If not, that's great. There's 830 million people out there, and the people will still know you. They're not going anywhere. Poonam's here almost every day. As a lawyer back in India. So, anybody on this show who's watching it now or later, use this as an opportunity to network, but because the people who are showing up and the people who are participating are taking the opportunity to step out of their comfort zone. And the more they step out, they find out it really wasn't that uncomfortable. And what they were avoiding was the whole, parking brake on their momentum gets released. Here's another gentleman from Libya. Thank you so much for joining. The other key thing is knowledge share, and that's so important. Look at your review of who you've been sharing knowledge with, who you've been receiving knowledge with. What I do every time something new comes on LinkedIn, I've got a strategy. I go to YouTube, type it in. I guarantee you after 7, maybe 8, if you're lucky, and that's pushing it, videos on anything you want to know about LinkedIn, you're 99% ahead of the people who don't research, who don't get help, who just assume things or just wish things that may never come true, but it keeps them in their comfort zone of being comfortably uncomfortable. If you're plateaued, if you want to break through, the other element you have to factor into your planning is what's your why? If you got a big enough why, you'll figure out the how to. What are you doing this for? When things get tough, what keeps you going? And I found that success in anything is being involved in something bigger than yourself, something you can't quit others because, you made a commitment to them. It's like having a workout buddy. You tend to exercise more when someone's picking you up and you're picking them up. So, look at this review opportunity. We talked about the past. We talked about the present. We talked about what you did right, what you did wrong, mostly strategic, tactical, whatever you want to call it. Now we're talking about people. Factor in who's your lineup. If you were a sports team, let's say an NFL team, look at this as draft time. Who do you want to bring on the team, and who do you want to let go? LinkedIn's dynamic. It's changing all the time. You should too. So, okay, that's people. Now let's move on into frequency. Have a content strategy, whatever it is. Take a calendar, 12-month calendar, and start writing in what you're going to do on LinkedIn. Okay, whether you're going to do posting, commenting, connecting, watching LinkedIn lives, doesn't matter, write it down. And eventually you'll get an hour total. And you'll also have an activity to balance against it. Is it worth it? And when do you find out it's worth it and you need to invest more? When do you find out it's not worth it and you need to back off? Time spent in things that aren't going to work out is wasted time. The sooner you could figure out that that's not taking you where you want to go, the sooner you make a pivot to where you want to go. And that's why you got to stay on the move. Activity is everything. Working with LinkedIn's like going up a down escalator. If you don't have momentum going up, you're moving down. Everything's based on being reciprocal. You stop commenting, they'll stop tagging. You start promoting and not getting recognition or appreciation, you'll move on. So there has to be some level of interaction that keeps the relationship alive. And then someone who, again, is taking proactive activity to ratchet it up, to build it. Oh, this is a good saying, Dennis. Write it down to write it up. Dennis is on his game today, and he's right. Once you write it down, there's some magic to it. I got to be a big fan of Brian Tracy and Jim Rohn and got to know them. Just conversationally, was at a lot of conferences with them. And there was this, and I think it was Brian Tracy. Anyways, he wrote down 10 of his most important goals for that year, looked at it, spent some time with it, folded it up, put it in his dresser drawer, took it out a year later, and he had accomplished 8 of those things. And he attributes that to writing it down, looking at it, putting it in your mind. When you take a trip, you got to have a roadmap. If you don't know where you're going, you're probably already there. And that's really the key to review. Now, moving on to reinvent. You take all of this together. And it shouldn't be that much. An outline here. I don't waste time just making things pretty. Okay, here's a great comment. The thing that helped me get over 15,000 followers is posting questions, technical questions. That is so sound advice. That is so spot on, because you need some sort of call to action. You need something that you can tell the audience, here's how we can take this conversation and extend it, take it to a higher level. I'm always ready to go. I'm not waiting on anybody. And when no one shows up, I go. I do this 7 days a week. Thank you so much for that wonderful insight and contribution to LinkedIn Live today. And gratitude is everything. Thank people in anticipation of getting nothing in return, but some gratitude for being acknowledged. Keep it simple. Don't get ahead of yourself, and definitely don't get ahead of people. The other thing is meet people where they are, not where you want them to be. Talk with them at their level. Because unless you build trust and confidence and likability, it's not going anywhere, and it's not scalable. Factor that in. There's a whole list now of intangibles, on how much of a giver you're going to be this year, on outlining who you want to give to. I mean, it's like a donation. When you invest time in others to help others, purely to help others, you are going to be recognized as that kind of person. And that's going to build a lot of trust, a lot of confidence, and a lot of likability. Be the person you want someone to be to you, and do it all the time and do it more, and just compete with yourself to do better and to be better. And you know what? You find pride in what you do then. You find fun in what you do, and you're not dependent on someone paying you. And, I wouldn't want to be out in the marketplace, for hire. I'm in the marketplace looking for the right people, because I want to do the same thing for myself as I'm helping others do, is be better for the experience with who you're with. And you only have to be with a few people who know where they're going and are on their way and are willing to give you a ride. That's key. You don't want to be doing a lot of business with a huge population. You want to do a lot of business with a smaller population as far as strategic relationships. As far as reach, you want to reach everybody, but do it in a way that's convenient, comfortable, easy, fun, entertaining, educational, inspirational. LinkedIn Live is the thing. Let me tell you. Dennis, I'm going to have Dennis on the show. We need to connect on Zoom. But yeah, that's great. Sound advice happens when we listen. They say, you were created with 2 ears and 1 mouth, and you should use those proportionately. I'm always having a challenge, but at least I know better, and I'm trying. So, and that's what goes into your plan, is who is the best you can bring to the party. If you had some interview or some engagement that was life transforming, if you can get through, let's say a part in a movie, you name it, what would you do to show up like as perfect as you could make it, and in turn be as authentic as you could be? This is your 7 days. This 7 days could make or break next year. And it also sets you on a pattern of doing things on a regular basis. So now you do things by plan instead of accident. Your, plan, do, review is key. Too many people are doing, they're not thinking about what they've done. They're just busy doing more. They're not thinking about putting together a better plan. You got to balance. And that's another key to your plan. Have quality of life balance. If you're going to steal from another part of your life for LinkedIn and have a deficit where there wasn't, in order to kind of gamble on what you hope for, forget about it. Change the plan so it works for everybody and everything in your life. That's the key. Is not, in my opinion, how much you make. It's how happy you are, how excited you are to I can't wait for Mondays, even though doing this 7 days a week, it seems like there never is a Monday. But, let's get back into Reinvent. And that's the key. Bringing the best you can to the table. Sharing your ambition and enthusiasm and excitement. There's a saying, no one hears your words, only your music, and there's so many people that need to get motivated. I think half of the people who should get coaching are doing it for empathetic support, for just having someone with them. And I think that's valuable. And it's also important to have somebody who can confirm and relate to, and I think that's the key, is what's your collaboration plan next year? There's so many LinkedIn Lives. There's so many collaboration groups. I mean, go to my website. I've got a couple plans that'll get you from where you are to the fast track in really 30, 60 days, and it's too much for any one person. I never wanted to do anything on my own. First of all, it's not as much fun. Second of all, there's people out there who can complement what you do, and you can help. So now not only you're helping a mass group of, let's say, LinkedIn audience, but now you've got a select group of, again, a board of directors that you have reason to support and promote, and you can do things a lot faster and with a lot more reach when you're working with more people. So this is a lot of stuff. hopefully, you picked up some great points from it. I'll be back tomorrow. You can visit my website. I've only got a couple slots left, to what my programs for the first quarter are. And again, thanks for coming. Share this, comment. It all helps. Uh, Poonam has a comment. Yes, your views on the way, giving value and self-confidence in life. Yeah, it is. It is about attitude. This is Monday morning. It's how you getting started. What's this week going to look like? And it's going to be based on what you see this week looking like. There's a saying, if you believe it is, it is. And if you believe it isn't, it isn't. So, start with your attitude, then move to your, thoughts and actions, and then celebrate. So, put something in the plan for celebration. If you don't celebrate, it's not a win. And only put things in that you can celebrate. And it could be buying yourself an ice cream sundae. Cynthia has always good to listen to you. Thank you for your insights. Well, thank you, Cynthia, for watching the show, the whole show. And, everybody brings their light to events like this. And hopefully you can use this again as a networking, pick up some connections, have something already in common. And a lot of people are starting to become regular participants, which makes it so much better because I'm learning so much from everybody out there. The feedback that you're giving is not only helpful to everybody who's here, but very helpful to me. And I've started to adjust and change my approach to it, far more conversational, far more inclusive. And I want to keep building on that because there's so many people who are wandering out there lost, who with a little bit of guidance and support could get on the right track really quickly. So look at this as like the AAA of LinkedIn, kind of get you out of a rut possibly and get you on the fast lane. So thank you, Cynthia. It's great having you. And if there's anybody else before we close, take this hopefully and move on it, get some great takeaways, put some plans together, take the plans you had, look at them again. And with that, have a lovely day and we'll talk tomorrow. Thank you so much.